Hello Taurus and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future. As you can see, I've already gone ahead and pulled the oracle cards and clarified those, as I always do. I already have the overall energy for the reading, and we'll jump into tarot. I like to do that just so I can dive right into the reading. So, all right, Taurus, in your recent past, you have honor your feelings with the Queen of Wands in reverse. I feel as if you were dealing with a lot of anger in your recent past. Anger, frustration, resentment, possibly even. And I feel like this reading is about figuring out how to remove yourself from that anger, because anger is a healthy emotion. It's not that it's a bad emotion, but just like any emotion, if we allow it to have too much control over us for too long, it can turn into kind of doing us a disservice, instead of, because anger can be a very healthy, productive emotion. But if we hold, like I said, if we hold on for too long, we can start to turn that anger and resentment from one thing, and it starts kind of spilling over into other areas of our life, sometimes toward ourselves. And so that's what I feel like this reading is about, because in your current energy, you have Go Deeper with the Star card. The other card that came out with Go Deeper was Forgiveness, and we'll go over it in a second, but the overall energy for the reading is forgiveness as well. And then the Star card, and it was a card of healing. So there's some situation that needs to be healed, it feels like the layers of an onion, like having to peel back these emotions to get to the core of where these emotions and triggers are stemming from. Because I feel like it's not just whatever situation has been triggering you, I feel like isn't actually the situation that needs your attention. There's something a little bit deeper that needs your attention here, that I feel like could provide you with almost just this like weight being lifted off your shoulder in a way. Because then in your immediate future, you have focus on the positive with the Seven of Wands. So the Seven of Wands to me is an energy of standing very tall in your truth, standing very tall in what you believe. I just feel like there's almost this level of whatever you're dealing with is starting to overcome your truth. And that's where the issue lies, is that you're needing to get to heal whatever it is that's keeping you from being able to stand tall in your truth. Now, I don't necessarily know what that means yet, in terms of specifics. We'll obviously dive into tarot, but like I said, the overall energy for the reading is forgiveness and protection. So you're being protected from, you either are being protected from something or you were protected from something. And that's why this forgiveness is almost like, if there's something that didn't work out, or something that's not working out exactly like you want it to yet, it's almost like the universe is saying, it's like that concept of like, if it didn't work out, it's because you deserve better. Like, just because you don't get what you thought you wanted doesn't mean you're not getting what you wanted ultimately in the end. So that's kind of what I'm feeling here, is it's like you've been protected from a situation not working out, so that you can be provided with what what is meant for you. Because whatever didn't work out wasn't meant for you, because whatever, is past, um, whatever is meant for us will never pass us. And so I kind of feel like this is an energy of figuring out where it just feels like resentment to some extent, resentment that's built up and is starting to kind of affect other areas of your life. But I also feel like there's this level of like, well, I don't want to forgive them. Why do they deserve my forgiveness? And we'll talk a lot about why forgiveness is actually more for you than for them. But I really feel like this is a level of healing some sort of a situation that's kept you stuck in anger. Recent past for Taurus, please. Let's start, Taurus, by looking at your recent past, because you have honor your feelings with the Queen of Wands in reverse. So I'm not saying you shouldn't be angry. You should have never been angry. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's that there's a need to get down to the core of where this trigger is stemming from, because this feels like a pretty large trigger in your life. Knight of Pentacles with the Queen of Swords in reverse. I want clarity on this Knight of Pentacles. I think I know what it's saying. Clarifying the Knight of Pentacles for Taurus. Clarifying the Knight of Pentacles for Taurus. The Star. So the same star is right there. And then there's the Moon card. So that's what I was feeling. So there's something It's either something was slowly building for a while and then it got to the point where it just wasn't working out, or something is taking longer than you would like it to come to fruition, and that's causing you a lot of frustration. And frustration and anger, like, they kind of go hand in hand. And so what's happening is, this is because whatever the situation is, the reason that this Queen of Wands in reverse energy kind of starts to come into play is because of fear. So there's a deeper fear at play here about some sort of situation, because it's something that's caused you to kind of like close yourself off to the universe and the possibilities of the universe and the plans of the universe, because something didn't or isn't necessarily going your way. Not that it's not working out for you, it just isn't going the way that you want it to or expected it to. It's something you're trying to create, something that's trying to be created here. Recent past for Taurus. Recent past for Taurus here. You're not listening to the signs. Because I feel like the signs are pointing you in the direction of, hey, everything is actually working out for you. But instead, you're allowing your fear and your emotions aligning with that fear to get in the way. And that's where this anger is stemming from. That's why you need to go deeper, because that card came out with the Moon card, that we just pulled for the Nine of Pentacles, that said there's a fear that needs to be addressed, a fear that needs to be healed. So this frustration about something is actually stemming from a deeper fear, a deeper rooted fear, because it's almost like, yeah, because there's that Ten of Swords and then the Sun in reverse. So at the end of the day, you feel like you're just not, like, you're getting screwed out of what you want here. That's what you feel like. But there's something bigger. There's something bigger, whether it's a solution or a path or a person or a career. There's something bigger available for you. And that this Page of Cups in reverse is like, you're not listening to the signs. The signs are trying, it's almost like trusting your anxiety over your reality. Recent past for Taurus. Because the signs are pointing you to something good. But I feel like it's almost like there's a deeper seated fear that's coming to the surface here because of unrealistic expectations. Now, when I talk about unrealistic expectations, that does not mean that the outcome you're wanting is unrealistic. It could mean the time, the path to get there, really time. Like, I feel like it's the time to get there is what's really getting in your way. You're focused on the fact that you're not yet there, that you haven't yet received this, that you haven't yet created this. And that's triggering this deeper frustration. Now, this deeper frustration is stemming from a fear. So the universe is saying, before you can receive, this fear needs to be addressed. So let's get clarity on this fear. Current energy for Taurus. Because then you have the go deeper. Current energy for Taurus here with go deeper in the star. It's like whatever outcome you're wanting, that's where that protection is stemming from. But then there's forgiveness. Okay, current energy for Taurus. Intrigue, Taurus. This is a lot about frustration, impatience. I mean, there's the Temperance in reverse, and there's the Eight of Wands in reverse. It's like the universe is saying you're confused. You're confused on why something hasn't worked out yet. It's not because it's not working out. It's not because it's not possible. It's not because you don't deserve it. It's just because there's something bigger going on. That's what the go deeper is. I want to clarify this message because this Temperance in reverse card is the universe saying, hey, hold on. Because I said that. I said that this felt like You were focused on the time aspect. This is taking too much time, or you're not getting there yet. And this Temperance in reverse is clarifying that. More on this message. Is there any more on this message? So the fear must be the belief that you're never going to get there. The belief that you're never going to have what it is you're wanting to create. Yeah, because okay. So here's what the divine is asking of you. When you start to feel triggered, frustrated, whatever the case is, immediately in that moment, try to address the emotion from the place of the observer, meaning the observer is someone who can observe their thoughts and emotions without letting them run away, without letting their emotions, consume them, and then running away with the belief that that emotion is telling the truth. Because that's why you have stand tall in your truth here, because your truth isn't rooted in your emotion. In fact, your truth is what can help you process through your emotion when you're feeling that way. So this hermit here is saying this is this need to address the trigger from the like here's what's needed is here's the emotion, right? This light is the emotion, and this is you as the hermit. So it's almost like hold this emotion in front of you and be like, what is this trying to tell me, instead of letting it because this is what are those called? Oh my gosh, it's a lamp made of fire. I don't know why I can't think of it. A fire lamp is what we're going to go with for this reading. And look at it instead of allowing that to catch you on fire almost, because if you bring yourself too close to the emotion and you identify with that emotion is going to consume you, and you're going to get lost in the emotion instead of the reason for it. This is a pretty deeply spiritual / therapeutic type reading. I mean, you talk about this stuff in therapy, right? I mean, I'm not saying everyone does, but usually in therapy, you address how to handle your emotions without letting them consume you. And so this really feels like with the Go Deeper card, address the emotion and the reason for the trigger instead of just letting it consume you, running away with it, right? Because this protection card, if we woke up tomorrow, everything that we're trying to manifest, with our career being at the perfect spot for us, if we woke up with the perfect relationship that we wanted, if we woke up with whatever it is that you're trying to create here, and you haven't worked through the fears of it not happening, your fear of failure, your fear of ending up alone, the fears that we have to address on the path to creating whatever it is, if you woke up tomorrow without addressing those fears, you would bring those fears into your abundance. And if you bring your fear into your abundance, that fear would cause you to manifest it away. And so that's why the universe is saying you're actually being protected from sabotaging your own abundance through the path to get there. And so that's this perspective shift that's kind of needed on this path here, because I do feel there's a lot of frustration. But frustration only stems from the fear that it's never going to happen, the fear that there's never going to be a solution. Truth or current energy for Taurus. Ending. I want to clarify this death card. Clarify the death card, because you have the death with the 7 of Cups. It's almost like, to me, this is like the ending of confusion, because I said you were confused. The ending of confusion, clarifying this message. Clarity. The ending of confusion, which will bring about this clarity. The Ace of Swords here. And then there's the 10 of Swords in reverse. This healing, because it's almost like you feel kind of betrayed by your path in a way. And I feel like whatever this situation is very outside of your comfort zone. Usually when we experience fear, And this energy that you're dealing with, it's because you're very outside of your comfort zone, and that's a good thing. That's a good place to be. It just doesn't feel very good in the beginning, but it's about getting to the point where you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? That's where you find, you embrace the unknown, you find that faith, and you kind of build the strength to approach any situation from that point of view. And so right now there's this confusion almost where you're like, am I pursuing the wrong thing? Am I on the right path? Like, that's where I feel like this is coming from. Am I on the right path? Yes, you're on the right path, but you've got to work through the fear of like you're somewhere in between point A and point B. And you've got to work through the fear of never getting to the finish line. And then by the time you're able to overcome that fear, I feel like you're going to have this clarity, because if you're so certain that you're on the right path and that the universe has your back, then you're never going to be afraid that it's not going to work out for you, right? Because you're so certain that you're a good person, deserving of good things, and that the universe has your back, and that everything's going to work out for you how it should. You're very certain of those things. Therefore, you don't have the fear that it's never going to happen, because you have the faith that it will. And that's where you transmute that fear to faith, right? Because this is dealing with the deeper level fear. So when you're feeling this confusion, this feeling emotionally overwhelmed, this feeling of uncertainty, that's where the universe is saying, in that moment, you need to pause. And instead of letting that consume you, try to bring in a truth to the matter. Whatever your truth is, I'm on the right path, I'm deserving of good things, the universe has my back, I know that I'm pursuing something I'm passionate about, whatever the case is for you, and say, the universe is protecting me from what isn't meant for me so that I can have what is. And allow that to bring you a level of peace in those moments so that you don't run away with the fear. Current energy for Taurus. There's the King of Swords. So this is what you're trying to be. This is who you're trying to become. The word that comes to mind is equanimity. Equanimity. Equanimity being the ability to stay mentally and emotionally balanced, even when your circumstances are trying to throw you off balance. That's true. I mean, that's true. That's truly enlightenment, right? Like finding the enlightenment where you know that everything is happening for you, not to you, and that even if you can't see it in the moment, you know that eventually that will be proven to you. And I feel like that's what this energy you're in is trying to like almost transform you into. But then there's this forgiveness aspect. I want clarity on this forgiveness aspect of this reading. Clarity on this forgiveness. Oh, okay. So you have this Queen of Swords in reverse. Like I said, there's something. Okay. There's something that hasn't worked out in the past that's being triggered through your current endeavors. So if you feel like you have failed at something in the past, a relationship, a career, a path in general, you are bringing the fear of that repeating itself into your current energy. And it could be multiple things. It could be the fear of, you've experienced too many relationships not working out, so you fear that you will find the one that does. You've experienced financial struggles for so long that you fear that they're never going to, be able to, your financial situation is never going to balance itself out. But don't allow that fear to trick you into believing that it's a truth, because remember, what we give energy to is what we attract more. If you give energy to that fear through allowing this anger and frustration to overcome you, then you will, kind of attract more of that energy. Now, this forgiveness is stemming from this level of, if something hasn't worked out for you, it's because it wasn't supposed to. So whoever was involved, and if it was yourself, if there was sabotage involved, from yourself or from someone else, forgiving that person and yourself really for what didn't work out and realizing that it wasn't supposed to. Just because it's not working out doesn't mean, just because it didn't work out doesn't mean it's not working out. That makes sense? That's why I would focus on the positive here. Immediate future for Taurus. So forgive, again, I don't know if it's yourself, somebody else, because forgiveness is a tricky thing. We think that someone else deserves or has to earn our forgiveness. And if we want them back in our life, sure, okay, they have to prove that there's changed behavior. But usually when a situation is ended, it's that situation wasn't supposed to work out because it was supposed to teach you a lesson, and the forgiveness of that is where the lesson lies. Now, when I say that, forgiveness, it actually helps you more than anything, because if you allow yourself to hold on to resentment for somebody else, what you're doing is you are giving that person power over you, and you're saying, until I can forgive you, until you show me that you deserve my forgiveness, then I can't heal. And you're putting your healing in the power of somebody else, and that's not fair to you. The best thing that you can ever do for yourself is allowing yourself the ability to forgive yourself and someone else without needing the validation to do so. Now, that doesn't mean you forgive and forget. That doesn't mean you forgive and you are like, oh, clean slate for everybody. No, it just means that you can forgive someone, including yourself, and say, that situation had to happen to get me to where I'm trying to go. Therefore, I forgive the way that things played out. I've learned the lessons I need to, and I'm taking my power back from the situation to say I'm moving forward with a stronger, clearer mindset. And if that thing tries to come back into your life, you say, no, 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 just because I forgave you does not mean that you are allowed to do it again. Does not mean that you are allowed back in my life. It just means I forgive you for the actions you have done, but I now know better than to allow that to happen again. That's how forgiveness is actually it's a powerful love, like it's more self-care than anything, because it takes your power back from a situation that took your power away to begin with. Immediate future here for Taurus. This is a very interesting reading, Taurus. A very, I don't know, deep reading, really, which I guess makes sense since you have go deeper. Immediate future for Taurus. Nope. Not letting that. Not letting those fly. The Two of Pentacles. I saw the Five of Swords in reverse, Five of Swords upright. I think it was in the pre-shuffle for here. It came out with the Star card. You have it in reverse in your immediate future. This is letting go of the belief that the universe does not have your back, because it's providing you with this anxiety. Believing that the universe is not bringing you everything that your soul, heart, mind, body desires is what keeps you in the anxiety that what you need is never going to be brought to you. It keeps you in survival mode, right? So I see things start to balance out in your immediate future. And I feel you'll start to step in more to your truth and more into your, I am deserving of good things. Therefore, I know the good things are coming and I'm grateful for them before they even arrive. But this situation, whatever situation that you're feeling frustrated and angry about, that's got to feel, there's a need to resolve that situation before you can move forward, because that's keeping resistance from what it is you're trying to attract. Immediate future for Taurus. There's the strength in the Empress. And look at that, the Four of Pentacles in reverse and the Seven of Wands. This is about you realizing your value and your worth, and knowing that you deserve good things in this life for who you are at your core, not for the things you do, the knowledge you have, not for your success, not for what you give. It's literally just you deserve good things in this life because you are a human being alive on this planet. And that's the truth of it. Now, you have to forgive yourself for all of the reasons that you don't think that you deserve them, whether that stemmed from, parental figures, taking away self-worth, relationships taking away self-worth, failed career endeavors taking away your self-worth. There's situations that need to be healed that have kept you from believing that you are deserving of whatever it is you're trying to attract. Immediate future for Taurus. Because you are the Empress, Taurus. You're the creator of and then there's that. You're the Emperor. That's pretty freaking cool. I was going to say whether you're male or female, but this is almost like, because there's the Two of Wands. This is a really deep reading. This is about getting in alignment with yourself. Finding that inner balance within yourself, especially if you're reading this from the perspective of like thinking about a twin flame or a soulmate energy. This is the kind of reunion that happens within Empress Emperor energy. When you find that balance within yourself where you say, I no longer need anything or anyone to fulfill me with, outside of me because I have everything I need within me. And there's the Fool. That snaps you into a new beginning. One beyond, I feel like dare I say it, beyond your wildest dreams. Like, I feel like this is a deeply spiritual reading. This is also a very specific reading for someone out there. This is someone who has been doing the work, who's been diving into their shadow side, who's been on like a very transformative journey to finding and becoming their best self. Because if you try to find and become your best self, that will reflect into your life and you will start to live your best life. This is you coming into alignment here, Taurus. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool reading. Okay, we are going to hop on over to the extended. The extended is where I provide a little bit more advice, go a little bit deeper on the messages, and then actually pull an advice card from Spirit at the end. Thank you guys so much, as always, for the support of my channel. It means the absolute world to me. I wish you guys absolutely nothing but love and healing on your journey, and I do hope to see you back in future readings. All right, bye, Taurus.